podcast where we put you on the map. This is Ron Costa broadcasting live in Las Vegas in the Mappable USA studios. And folks, we got a really interesting show for you today. Today we're going to put it all together. We've been talking about opportunity zones, and of course we talk about crowdfunding all the time. And everybody knows how we're involved in the craft beer industry as well. We're going to bring this all together in today's show. And to start the show off, let me introduce Vicky Hachmala from the Opportunity Zones Marketplace. Vicky, how you doing today?
I'm doing outstanding today, Ron, and I'm looking forward to our podcast with our excellent new guest.
Oh, my God, this is going to be a great show because, again, you know, we've talking Opportunity Zones so many times. In one of our previous podcasts, we were talking about what a sin business is, and surprisingly, breweries are not considered a sin business. Isn't that amazing? Golf courses are, breweries are not.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? And breweries are not, even cannabis is not, but golf courses can't go there.
Yeah, no, exactly. So again, let's bring on our show guest today. Today we've got Michael Tate and Craig Meacham from Three Monkeys Brewing. They're the co-founders. Michael, are you there?
I'm here. Hi.
And Craig, how you doing today?
Good morning. Doing excellent. Thank you.
Great. Now, Michael, let's just go up to the, you're the president, CEO of Three Monkeys Brewing. You're not strangers to us at all. We've done a number of I Love Beer shows with you guys. Again, in my opinion, I'm a craft beer guy. I still say your brown ale is the best of all time, and I'm sure everyone else agrees with that. Everybody who tastes that beer, they all say it's the same thing. So you guys are really a powerhouse now. And tell us about your background with Three Monkeys, how you started it, and all about the company, what you want to do.
Well, we started back in 2009, originally incorporated, and we started getting the brand out there to the markets, just sharing our vision, our love for it. Me and Craig, we met some years ago, and we just fell into love with beer. It was just a natural thing that just fell into our lap. I did my first beer back in ninth grade, just to give you an idea of playing around with a little kid, and I got hooked and stayed with it ever since. Up until meeting Craig, and he's just a branding genius, and just seemed to fit together real well for us. And we said, well, let's do beer. The markets were going down, and so we put our money into something that we all enjoy, and that's beer. Craft beer is just taken off, and in a big way. And we stuck with it and just continued on the journey with it, and we've been able to carve out some really amazing beers. As you mentioned, the Brown Barrel Ale. We won a silver medal 2010 through Lalama International. We went up against the likes of Stone Brewing, Lost Coast Brewing, and we were able to carve out our first silver to put us on the map back then. And then we followed up with 2015. We got the Gold Award with Beverage World, the BevStar Award. So that was very exciting to give the brand not only major identity, but to really get the name out there. And in 2016, we won the bronze medal for the Tres Barqueros Amber Ale. And that was really exciting to do that back-to-back and just really capture the Barquero story and to have the flavor, or not the flavor, but the quality and things we were looking for and to carve out in that brand. So it's been amazing. Here we are now. It's time to go forward. We've been growing like crazy. We just added a statewide deal with Bevmo and Rayleigh's statewide, and every single store. I think there's about 20 of them there in Rayleigh's in Nevada. So we've been approved for all these. They're Bel Airs, Nob Hills throughout California. So it's been very, very exciting for us, and we're just in a major expansion. And now's the time to do it to get this global face out there. It's a juggernaut of a brand. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. And then our little twist, from a patriotic standpoint, just damn good beer, because that's what we do here at Three Monkeys Brewing.
Well, that sounds like the marketing end of this sounds like it's all it's all the brainchild of Craig, right? The Monkey Nation and all those other things that I see, all the T-shirts out there that I see. It's
actually,
funny.
Ron, you happen to hit the one thing that Michael came up with. He came up with Monkey Nation, no question about it. But for the most part, I do put the face on the beer, and have spent many years doing the same type of work. I worked for 20th Century Fox at one point, many years ago. Goodness, in another lifetime. And I just really enjoy being able to take a product and develop it.
Exactly. There's nothing better than being a success at what you enjoy doing and turning that into a profit. That's like everybody's dream.
It is.
What kind of projects are you working on now?
Well, Michael and I have developed a couple of ideas for new beer, and we're shifting over to cans. We've been in bottles for the most part and kegs, and at this point we're shifting over to 16-ounce cans. And we have a lager that we've developed that I think will be a winner across the board, and it's called Liberty Lager. And it'll be coming out soon, and we're working on the formula as we speak.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and now you guys are located in Madera, California, right? That's Northern California?
Yeah, well, kind of the center of California, part of the San Joaquin Valley here, in between Fresno and Merced, California.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and like I said, when we met you a couple of years ago and we've done a couple of I Love Beer shows, so if people want to check that out, they just go to ilovebeershow.com and use the search box for Three Monkeys. You'll come up with all the shows that we did with you guys, which were a lot of fun, man. Yeah, you guys were great. But you got so many projects going on. You're looking to expand. What got you into the whole idea that maybe we should look into crowdfunding and Jobs Act crowdfunding in particular?
Well, the crowdfunding has been exploding. Craig and I, we've been looking at it for quite some time. We've put our own personal finances into growing the company, and, you can only go so far. So you figured, there's a lot of big investors out there, and I'm sure, we know Chase bankers and a lot of people will be coming forward to fund us. We already know this. But the crowdfunding is just a neat mechanism to get everybody involved, to give them an opportunity, the little guy, to get involved in a big way and to be able to invest a minimum of $250, $500 and be a part of something special in this craft beer revolution. So, we talked about it, Craig and I said, this would be a really good thing to allow people to be a part of it. We're throwing some numbers around right now, but it looks like possible 35% return on the initial investment, from production, our revenues as we go forward. But crowdfunding is just a really neat way of collaboration of, friends, family. It's like a domino effect. And so many people seem to be so excited, especially the craft beer enthusiasts, to be a part of something like this. So we're just proud to be able to finally found a platform to initially kick this thing off that we think it should do very well based on all the feedback and all the shows we've done, and people just constantly, can we invest in Three Monkeys? And that time has arrived.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and what's also amazing is craft beer drinkers, as you all know, are very, first of all, they're very loyal, and yes. I think they also are very egotistic in that, I discovered this new beer. Yeah. Oh, no, I tasted that first, that kind of thing. So it's a competitive market out there. Everybody kind of wants to find the next great IPA, the next great hazy, the next great stout, et cetera, whatever that is. And what's really cool about crowdfunding, and people can go to craftbeerinvestors.com to get some idea on how this can work, is you go there and beer tastes better if you own part of the brewery. Doesn't it make sense? Isn't that cool?
Oh, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So So here it is, like a couple of years ago, no one could even touch ownership in a brewery, and now all of a sudden there's companies, like you guys, Three Monkeys out there, who are offering people the ability to get involved with the company and invest in it and invest in their growth. I think that is a really cool. I think people would brag to their friends that. Almost kind of like a cool thing, like Three Monkeys, I invested in those guys, and I think that's really a real good thing.
To see it on the shelf and just say, oh wow, I have a part of that. I'm a part of that. I became involved in that, and I had the opportunity, which you, Mike and Craig, have given that to people just in general. Like you said, the folks that can't invest with big bucks, they can invest in something that makes them proud with little bucks. That's fabulous. That's exciting.
Yeah, it really is.
And what makes it even better?
What makes it even better here too? They'll certainly be able to get a mug. They'll have some kind of something to show for it besides just the investment. So
right.
They'll have a conversation piece sitting on the table, I'm sure, at that point that'll prove
invite
they've
friends
been
over, serve them Three Monkeys beer, and say, "Yeah, this is my beer. I did it.
This is my beer, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, more than that too. It's our brand. Without the people, we wouldn't be where we're at. And
there's
what we're all about. Our passion is beer first. There's a lot of managing you have to do to run a beer company, from production and merchandising. We've had those wins against big companies, and that's not the hard thing. The company is built on the people, so that by right the people should have some type of ownership in upcoming craft breweries such as ours, Three Monkeys Brewing.
Exactly.
That's why it works.
Global company we stumbled onto, and it's just amazing. It dates back to 6-7 BC, and Craig, you could share some of that there if you.
Actually, it was an idea that manifested itself many years ago in the music business. I was going to use it with the music group, and really a brewery is very much like a music group. You get a following, you develop a following, you have a fan club. So there's a lot of similarities. And fortunately, I didn't use it or trademark it in the music business. And when I met Michael, it was just before the big crash of 2008 that we started talking about putting something together. Michael and I had worked on my house. I designed my home, and Michael helped me build it. He's a developer, by the way. And right after that, we could see the economy was kind of up and down. And I said, boy, we better get something going here because the economy doesn't look good. And it wasn't long after that it crashed in September of 2008. And Michael and I incorporated in 2009 of January. So you can see it was right on the tail end of the crash. And we had talked about something sweet, something that people can't put down. We talked about chocolate chip cookies. We talked about then Michael said, have you been following the craft beer? And I said, yeah, there's a guy up here in Mariposa. I'm close to Yosemite here, and I said he's put a brewery in up here. I said maybe we could check into that, and Michael did so, and we ended up out in San Francisco doing some brewing with a friend of ours at Devil's Canyon, Chris, and so we learned the basics, fundamentals of brewing. And did that a couple of times. And you brew up your batch. You come back in a couple of weeks, and you bottle it, and you put your labels on. And so you have small batch brewing, a barrel or so. And so that was very exciting. And we did get our feet wet, and that's been a decade ago. And since then, it's developed into to what we have now. And we're putting it on the shelves and doing the do.
Well, even when times are bad, you still need to have a beer, so you picked the right product.
Yeah, we talked about that because, as the economy gets worse, people tend to drink more. So it was ironic, but that is a fact.
And you might as well give them something good to drink, so if they're sad, you make them happy.
Yeah,
that's right. Best round in the town, that's for sure.
Yeah, something award-winning always helps.
Centerpiece.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think the only difference between music and beer is that music doesn't help you bowl or golf better. Right?
There's that too.
But you guys are on the right trajectory and the right path for sure. And I believe you guys have some plans about maybe expanding, maybe even into the Vegas market over here. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we've been looking at Vegas. Absolutely, we want to get the beers back into Vegas. We've been there before through Nevada Beverage, and that marriage didn't work too well. But we definitely are going to be coming back into Vegas. Probably start off with the kegging initially, even though we've been been out there in multiple trips and talking with various vendors and locals and shops and so forth. Small format. We know some of the big format because we're with Total Wines and More here in California, and Costco, grocery outlets, Rayleigh's, supermarkets. And so many different gas stations, but we can easily expand out there in your area. So, but yeah, we've talked to a lot, and a lot of people are actually looking forward to getting the brand back in some of the local establishments there. So it's a very exciting market, 24/7, and we just think it's a very healthy market to bring our craft beer back into. I mean, we've done lots of shows there in the past, and our brand has been very well received. So, yeah, we're very
there's one coming up. There's one coming up again in Lake Las Vegas, I believe, on June 1st. So hopefully you guys will be there pouring your beers, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're looking forward to that, supporting the New Vista Group, all the great things they do there for families, and with autism. So we think that's a really, really, really great show to participate in.
Yeah, we always promote that show. Yeah. We promote that show on the I Love Beer show, as well as Craft Beer Mob and all our other beer-related websites as well. We really like going there. Lake Las Vegas is a great venue for a beer festival, no question. And hopefully the weather will hold out and won't be like 120 degrees on June 1st. So that's all we need to just kind of worry about, right? But then again, as the weather gets hot, people drink more beer, right?
There you go.
That's correct. That's correct.
Now let me ask you a question. You started talking about expansion and into Las Vegas. Is that kind of like the goal of the crowdfund raise that you guys are trying to do? Is that really one of the things that you're really looking for to raise money for expansion, as well as development of the brewery and putting out the new beers and the new flavors, et cetera?
Well, the expansion is going to really help us, to expand off of our core lines, the Brown Barrel Ale, Gold Monkey IPA, and the Boardhead Tangerine series. And we just don't we need more control of the capacity, due to distribution interest out of Las Vegas, Florida, and places outside the country. I mean, we're with Free Berry Imports. They're out of Australia. We have our first contract with them. And we sent the Gold Monkey IPA there, and it did very well. We got a nice write-up in the Newcastle Herald. They gave it 4 stars.
Wow.
So you're always praying, God, we hope they like this, American craft, which has really exploded out there. But they really took to that Gold Monkey IPA. That's one of the first beers that Craig and I actually created. We started off with the dark, and then, going back to Chris there at Devil's Canyon, he pulled me to the side and he says, it's too early for this style of brand. It's a good beer, but nobody's going to understand it because there's no haziness, there's no straw color to it, and most likely most craft beer drinkers back then would just put it down. So we kind of shelved that product. And now you see Sierra Nevada and so many other companies started to come out with the dark IPA. So it's kind of nice that they've kind of carved open the market to allow companies like ours to come forward with something in that category. But, getting back to the original question, distribution is key for us right now because we have so much demand from people, different establishments that, we can only serve so much. And this 30-barrel system will give us the horsepower we need to do 12 to 15,000 barrels and expand, to have some expansion room to get up to 30,000 or so to serve all these venues, and then just kind of walk up the production as we go based on demand and bring it online based on, planning. So Vegas is a beautiful market. We definitely want to – it's a very vibrant market, and that's one of the big reasons, because we've had inquiries from some of the major distributors there that like to pull the brand in. And, the way we're having to brew now off-site, it makes it really hard with the costs. So this is going to help us to get our cost measures down. It's going to help us to buy production materials, very inexpensive, so we can meet that demand and give the pricing that, actually the sales needs from a distribution standpoint to be able to compete with our product in the marketplace.
Have you already chosen a location, or have you gone that far?
Well, right now where we're at in California, we're in a 30,000 square foot facility right now. So we have options to expand into it. That is an option that's on the plate right now. We're looking at all options. I mean, even the other mechanism besides crowdfunding, what's that other mechanism there, Ron? On the new type of investing that's going on.
Well, there's also tokenization.
The opportunity.
And the opportunity zone.
Opportunity zone. The opportunity zone is really interesting because it allows investors to invest the unrealized gains that they've made in the marketplace, say on an Amazon stock or Apple stock or any stock or real estate, and to invest
or anything. I mean, you could sell a piece of artwork and use those gains as well. That's what's the beauty of opportunity zone funds is any capital gains realized from any sale you can put in, you can invest, you bring it into the community, you elevate the community, you make everybody's lives better, and they get to drink beer. What more could you want than that?
Absolutely. So that's a really interesting mechanism. It's in place now, and a lot of people are just learning of it now, and it's a good opportunity for investors. I mean, they have to invest their money. I mean, you can pay the high tax, or you can invest in something we love.
Yeah,
that'd be our craft beer company.
Vicky and myself are both very bullish on opportunity zones investing, as well as tokenization, which is one of the reasons why we created that craft beer mob, because the idea behind that, Michael, is to tokenize craft beer investments so that people can invest via blockchain technology into breweries, into upcoming breweries such as yourselves. And I think that's really going to take off in the future when people get a little bit more confident about what blockchain is. And brewers understand that there's a new way out there to raise money for some of their projects. And I guarantee you're way above the curve. You and Craig are way more knowledgeable than your normal brewer, who I guarantee doesn't know anything about opportunity zones, and certainly not tokenization. So once the word gets out to these guys, I think that's a whole other avenue for them, and something that you guys are pursuing correctly in a really strong manner. Because, like we talked about before, it's not only just owning a brewery or owning part of a brewery or investing in a brewery, but if you guys are award-winning already, you're established. People know who you are. That's such a great a head start, which is have you go on.
Yeah. What's amazing with your sharing there is a lot of breweries you see are just getting funded startups, and they don't understand half the battle of what it is to get your brand into the marketplace, merchandising, the interactions with employees. It is so important to establish that handshake with your vendors, because these are their stores, and you've got to be on time with things. You got to have a 100% delivery system to make sure those brands are there, because nobody likes it when you run out of beer at the shelf. That's lost patronage and people coming through the door, because it's a marriage. When you've got great brands in there, it brings people in, and then that rolls over into other product mixes that the store has to offer. So it's really an amazing thing.
Well, it's people forget that just because you can make a good brew, whatever, doesn't mean that you know how to run the business behind making that a success. And if you don't know how to run the business, if you don't know about the details, if you can't create the relationships, you're just stuck drinking a good beer.
Exactly.
And you guys are with breweries. You have the ability to bring all of these platforms together. You can use the opportunity zone, take the benefit from that, take the benefit from blockchain, cryptocurrencies, take the benefit from crowdfunding, and in the end, you can just feel good because look at all of the lives you've impacted and how you've changed the world. That's fabulous.
No, absolutely. It is about the people, because these are the people that are taking care of the company. It's something Craig and I have been talking about, is having a profit sharing type situation. I worked at Apple, so I've learned all this. I got to meet Wozniak when I was younger. John Scully at Pepsi, at the time when Jobs was ousted. So I learned a lot of beautiful techniques, working on the lines, production, Omni Technology, they were the first space technology type lab for aerospace and space. As a technician there, learning about the parts and testing parts because it's cold in space, So, a lot of those techniques and, my accounting, background and, just running a company and keeping it robust, it's like the thumb needs a joint to the wrist, to the arm, to the elbow, and everything has to work like that vertically across the board in your company. And you got to make sure people are happy as well. So it's important to always have a suggestion. Yeah, to have a suggestion box, because you can look at do a business plan, which Craig and I have done so very wonderfully from step to step. It's like a Bible. Okay, this is where we're starting. This is the point where we're going. We've been very successful to have beers, to do them one time, not have to do R&D 2 and 3 times, and our beers have come out superb. So it's just like it fell out of heaven. But the thing is just treating people right, because we can't see all the things, all the little nuances that go on the floor. So the suggestion box is helpful because we can get around, powwow, and come up with new ideas. And we want to hear what's going on so we can make the job place secure, safe, and when everybody's happy, things get done in a more efficient manner, because downtime is lost time, and lost time is money. But who's affected in the end ultimately is the consumer.
That's
right. Where we want that flow, is getting out there to our consumer, because they are the success of the company. And our success is our passion. Our passion is their success. That's what it's all about for Craig and I moving forward.
Again, that's what I was discussing before about the idea of being like a rock group, where you've got that whole fan base, and you've got to be out there. If you're a music group, you've got to be out there touring. You've got to have contact with your whole fan base, and they're really the ones that keep the boat afloat.
Right, and when you allow your employees to have an investment in the company, even if it's just by making a suggestion and seeing that suggestion take root and become a reality, you create a high standard of loyalty. The greater the loyalty in your employees, the greater the production and the more success. It's all relative, and it's all cyclical.
Yes, they take ownership.
Exactly correct.
That's right.
Plus, if you have a job where you could be productive and drink great craft beer all day, that's sign me up. Right? That is the job for a dream job for a craft beer lover. No doubt. So Michael and Craig, if someone is listening to this podcast right now and they're thinking about they're on craftbeerinvestors.com or whatever, they're looking for maybe thinking about investing in a brewery, do you guys have a portal selected already where people can go on there and maybe download materials and maybe make an investment today? Is that up online, or are you kind of working on that still?
Yeah, that's being finished up with as we speak. We've chose WeFunder. Any interested investors, if they want to contact us at threemonkeysbrewing.com, is they can simply, they can send us an email at investing@threemonkeysbrewing.com. That's investing, the number 3, monkeysbrewing.com. And then they're also welcome to visit the website at www.3monkeysbrewing.com as well. So yes, we're just doing the final touches right now on the WeFunder offering. Should be coming out shortly. So I encourage investors to get a hold of us now and get on the selective list so we can get information out when that investment comes available to the public.
Yeah, and what I'll do is I'll link that also to the show notes. So people who are listening to this right now on mappableiusa.com, they can go right there with a click. Once that thing is up and running, we'll definitely link to that as well. And the last thing is, okay, so the WeFunder portal crowdfunding deal, that's going to be separate from your possibility of doing a opportunity zone fund. Is that right? That's a separate investment type of thing, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I mean, we're looking at that, and investors may come forward now and want to move, and we'll move with the water. Because at the end of the day, the accomplishment is to get the brewery in place so we can meet the potential distribution demand, the accounts that we have now, over 500 accounts and growing. And so that's what we're looking forward to, is talking to investors, sharing more in depth, our numbers, what the company's expected to do, revenue growth, break-even points, our cores, brands that are in place now, and, a whole slew of other brands that we have that fit right into the product mix of what's going on at the shelf matrix today. So
and
we welcome the investors now.
Yeah, and then you should offline get a hold of Vicky as well and maybe talk about the fund, and so we could put that on the QOZmarketplace.com and get it certified by the Opportunity Zones Authority as well. So that would be a good thing for investors once you're ready to get to that point. But really, really good information. I told you, Vicky, did I tell you at the start of the podcast we're going to bring this thing full circle? We got crowdfunding, we've got beer, we've got opportunity zones, we've got real estate, it all ties together. Right?
Yeah, the only thing that could be better is to be drinking a Three Monkeys beer right now, and I would just be happy.
Well, you come on out and see us at the show here. June 1st. Yeah.
Yes.
And I can't wait to go to your new brewery here in Vegas. And as I said, anytime you need somebody to test your beers, Ron and I are right there first in line.
We sure appreciate it.
You're at the top
Michael,
of the list.
are you going to be pouring the what did Craig say? Liberty Ale? Is that the new one that you have? That you mentioned? Liberty
that
Lager?
one's not out yet. Yeah.
So that will not be at the June 1st show. You're not going to be pouring that one.
No. Yeah, we'll be serving our Gold Monkey IPA and the Boardhead Tangerine Blonde, new brand that's just done phenomenal for us last year when we brought that brand out. And we've got a whole slew of other ones that are coming, Blueberry and so forth, and it's brewed very well.
I was telling
you get a lot of beers that just over sweet and light. This one's just perfect. You have the nice aroma, and I like a beer where it follows through. You get a lot of aroma up top, but there's no follow through.
Yeah, I was telling Dameron from the I Love Beer show. It's easy to find the Three Monkeys tent at the beer festival. It's the one with the longest line, right?
It is. It's a fact.
Oh, believe me.
It's a fact.
Yeah, I see it many times with you guys. So, and as you mentioned before, like you talked about, the worst thing is for stores to run out of beer on their shelves. It's a bad thing when brewers run out of beer at the beer festival. That's not a good thing either.
That's the truth, right?
So, well, I really appreciate you guys coming on and talking about your brewery. Like I said, I know you're no strangers to us because we really enjoy doing the beer shows with you. And Vicky, unfortunately, I don't think you've ever tried the Three Monkeys beer. I have, and I can attest to how really delicious they are. So It's really a good thing. I think you guys are on the right track. Vicki, do you have any closing remarks or any questions that you may want to ask Michael or Craig?
Well, it was an excellent podcast, gentlemen. I appreciate it. And if you need any kind of assistance, any help in going forward with your Opportunity Zone project, I'm the person to talk to.
Oh, beautiful. We sure appreciate that, because we can use all the great help we can get, to move
and I
forward.
look forward to meeting you at the beer show.
It's very kind of you to have us on today.
Oh, my pleasure, our pleasure. So it's 3monkeysbrewing.com. Is that with the number 3, right?
Yes, with the number 3 in front. That's correct.
All right, folks, you got to go out there. Like I said, you got to check out their deal on WeFunder once it's up there. As I mentioned earlier, we'll link that to our show notes so you have it. Michael Tate, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. And
you're welcome.
Craig, thank you as well. I really appreciate your time today. You guys are great. I think after this is over, I'm going to have a nice cold beer.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Cheers.
And everybody out there listening, you're listening to the Mappable USA podcast, where we put you on the map at mappableusa.com. Go to the website. Scroll down on the homepage. You'll see a whole bunch of syndication sources. Pick the one you like best so you never miss an episode. And if you want to be a guest on the show, you're looking to crowdfund, just like Michael and Craig was today with 3 Monkeys Brewing. You can click on the guest tab there, and we'll see about getting you on the show. Really appreciate you guys' interest in the show. Thank you so much for listening, all you people out there. We'll be back at you next time with another Mappable USA podcast. And have a great week, everyone. Take care.